so I would like to welcome everyone to the Simon Fairfield Public Library Trustees meeting on Thursday, April 27th, 2023. We have a quorum.
27.
Right, I said 27.
Oh, I thought you said 3. Sorry.
No, I said
Okay.
27,
I have a
2023.
doctor's appointment tomorrow, and I had to answer all these questions, and it says, "How is your hearing?" I said, "Fine." So
What did
maybe
you
I'm
say?
wrong.
Have to have someone else answer that for you, Ellie.
Yeah, right.
All right, so everyone has received the minutes from the previous meeting, and hopefully everyone has had a chance to review them. I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as written.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Is there any discussion, corrections, questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none. Minutes were approved. So we can move on to the financial report, which
I don't really have one,
it's, I know.
but
I
we did
did.
get the LIG MEG disbursement, so we've got, $9 grand more than we did the last meeting. Obviously haven't spent any money this week, so we're still where we expect to be with the fiscal year. So
Right, I figured that.
And I did look at the Bartholomew report, and I'm just it said that for the three things that we have, it doesn't include the Douglas stuff. We have $88,216.19 right now. So
Very good.
oh, Lee Lyons is in the waiting room.
Oh, good.
Oh.
put them in then.
He's in.
Hello.
Hello, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Welcome.
Lee.
Do you want to get to know what you're stepping into? It's too late to back out now because your name's going to be written in.
Ooh. If I move the screen, the check marks don't move with it.
Ooh, that's weird.
That is weird. How do I make those go away now?
All right, well, while you're thinking of that, while you're trying to do that, how about if we move on to the director's report?
Okay, so I've got COVID, and Gail probably has COVID.
Oh, no.
Deb has a cold. Riley
Uh-oh.
is having migraine issues. We've keeping the library running this week has been very interesting. And
Oh my goodness.
when I get back, I'm going to need to make awards or certificates or something for the staff because they've been all over the place, sort of covering each other. And, especially Gail, she's like, all right, I got maybe 3 hours in me today, so I'm going to go do this. And then
Oh no.
come back. And, at first we didn't realize hers was COVID. We thought that it was just a cold, but her husband, Sam, tested positive for COVID this morning, which is why we had to cancel delivery today.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. I didn't realize we had such a resurgence.
Okay, there we go. Now I got the drawings to go away. Other than that, I don't think there's much to report on that's not elsewhere in the agenda.
Okay.
Just other than circulation continues to be ridiculously high.
Hmm.
And yep, that's it.
Right. That's a good thing. All right. So I'm not sure what we're looking at. Are we looking at building projects? I have a big,
Since
okay, there
Lee's
it
here,
is.
do we want to move the town election up sooner or,
Yeah, let's, can we
or does he
can.
want to stay with us for the whole meeting?
Oh,
Or merge with audio? What does that mean? Merge with audio.
uh-uh.
I'm not sure he can talk.
He should be there.
Well, it's new business, so, I mean, you can just take it out of order and that's fine.
Yeah, but Lee, can you hear us?
Side chat.
No, if you can, we can't
Yeah,
hear
we can.
you.
Then I guess on to old business.
Okay. All right. Director's contract.
Everyone has signed it, and I've just been waiting until this meeting happened to take it to town hall because I thought that everyone should have a final chance to say anything before I did.
Well, I'd like to move that we endorse the director's contract for 5 years as it was presented to all of us.
Do I hear a second?
Seconded.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? All right, so we are, you're stuck with us, Justin, for 5 years.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not technically unemployed.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. All right, so moving to building projects, under handicap access, the MBLC grant.
I got the letter of intent submitted to the MBLC yesterday and got confirmation of receipt. I did, Danielle, have to figure out how to turn the thing you had signed and the thing that Matt had signed into one PDF because it would only let me upload one file. So
Oh, jeez.
that's
You
like,
know, but you know what, when I signed that, I thought it was odd that mine was the only signature on there.
well, it was kind of just like a perfunctory thing. In an ideal world, I would have had you sign the same thing that Matt signed because it would have been like the Board of Trustees and the town administrator are
Right.
both on board with this application. It's not a
Right.
rogue director just doing things. But since this week kind of went the way it did, then I had to get you to come to the library and sign it and then scan it and weave it into the other PDF and then submit it. But the grant application is in, or the letter of intent is in.
Okay,
The application won't be until April or January, March 2024 if we choose to apply.
right, if we choose to move. I think we are looking at under, oh, is it still under old business? I have to put my glasses on. Looking at the focus groups, is that on here for, no, it's not, is it?
So, oh yeah, so I guess we should talk about that now.
Okay, we can.
Kate sent me a reply, which was good and eloquent. And I'm sorry, I haven't had time to like condense this into like a new thing. But I think that, you know, unless there's other plans based on the feedback I got, it would be good to go ahead and to have a focus group for library patrons. And super users instead of just expecting to get them through surveys and through the big public forums. And the other was the schools involving parents, just making the whole homeschool thing more about just parents in the community and targeting both homeschooling families as well as parents. I still really kind of don't want to do the school committee as a focus group or school administration. But I think that parents is good. Their voices don't need to be excluded just because they do public education.
Absolutely not. I kind of have to disagree with part of what you're saying, Kate, because when I was reading that, and I was thinking about, well, what haven't we hit? My thought was kind of the opposite, where it is, who are the people who don't come to the library? And why not? Is there something we could do that would get them to come to the library? Or is that a lost cause? You don't want to just pass it over. I think you want to make a valiant effort of it. And that might take exactly that, a little bit more effort than doing a focus group of, like Justin said, the super users.
I
Just my
think
thought.
a good way to get the opinions of that crowd for free is Facebook.
Yep. You can do a survey monkey.
Oh, well, there is going to be a survey. There's going to be a big survey coming out that everyone will be taking on top of the focus groups and everything.
Right.
That's just so much easier of a thing to sort out that we haven't started thinking about it yet.
Oh, okay.
She sent me like a master list of a whole bunch of questions like earlier this week, and then said she's going to Arizona for 2 weeks and we'll talk about it when she gets back. But the focus groups take more planning because it's trying to get people to come out and do stuff. Whereas the surveys is just, here, take this and bring it back, or else do it online.
I do it online, right? Yeah.
I think we should
So,
make an effort to make sure that we get the parents of the story hour in, because they're just beginning a lifelong use of the library and they're using it now. So they may have ideas on what they would like to see. So I think they should definitely be
Exactly.
included.
Yeah, their input is
Exactly.
mandatory because they're a
Absolutely,
captive
Betty.
audience. They have nothing better to do while their kids are doing story time.
That's
Surveys
true.
and questions.
Yeah, fill out a survey. Keep going.
Aren't they supposed to be participating?
Sometimes, but they get breaks.
I don't remember ever seeing what Kate wrote.
Me
Did
either.
it get sent to all of us, or?
I think I just sent it to Justin.
It was just me.
Okay, so can somebody tell us what was in it, or can you spurt out so I can put it in the minutes? I mean, maybe
I
we
was
want to read
really
something.
mad at the schools that day, so I was not fair to them, and I was selecting focus groups.
I kind of got that feeling. And I gently said, don't exclude the public school parents. But I don't see why we would need to have administrators or as a
agree.
focus group. That's not really
No,
connected.
absolutely not.
No, it's
mean-
it's weird because, in a lot of communities, the schools are like a political powerhouse. So you want the school committees on board with anything you plan on doing, or it's not going to happen. So like in Worcester, school committee positions are much more vied for than, our like elector positions, the equivalent of Board of Selectmen.
Right.
In Douglas, it doesn't quite work that way. And, we want the input from the parents, and, I'm interested in what the teachers have to say, but in terms of like getting an endorsement from the school committee and involving the schools in a campaign to renovate the library, I think that it would be more of a political dead weight than a help.
I
'Cause,
agree.
talking to library patrons, library staff, other people on town. I mean, just look at override history. Everything the schools have tried to pass, everything they kind of put their rubber stamp of support on, comes with a backlash from the community. I think because they've tried so many override attempts. And so if they are part of our strategy, then I think that it would not help, if that makes sense.
Well, I have a comment on that, and that is, and a kind of a question, as to what is their gain from renovations at the library? That's not going to directly impact them one way or the other. It would
To be
impact
blunt,
parents, but it's not going to impact the administrators. At first, when you guys were talking back and forth, I thought, well, maybe the school librarians, but not even that. I mean, they're
the
in
school
there.
librarian is amazing. The school librarian right now is Katie Malo, who used to work for us. But
Oh.
she can only do what she can within
Exactly,
remit of her
exactly.
position.
That's her, what I was gonna say. They're kind of in their silo, unfortunately. Yeah,
Mhm.
There's a phrase that is used at the senior center that I learned this over the past few weeks. The greed at the top of the hill.
Ah,
And apparently that's kind of, like a mantra that goes around among, like the senior population is, like nothing can ever happen at the senior center because of the greed at the top of the hill. Nothing can ever happen, with other things because of the greed at the top of the hill. And after what has happened so far this budget season, I think that the greed at the top of the hill is on full display for everyone to see, and they don't have a vested interest in seeing us fully funded or functional.
exactly.
And I believe that they will fight us tooth and nail for every resource they can get. Not because they are ambivalent towards us, but just because they are so siloed that we don't matter to them.
Right. So I
Yeah.
agree. So let's just to kind of cut to the chase on it, is that we would not include teachers, administrators, or staff from the public schools, but we would include the parents.
Yeah, I just wouldn't target them. I mean, anyone can come to a public forum.
Exactly. No, you're not going to
Everyone
send
can take the
flyers out.
survey, but in terms of like
Right.
inviting people to a table for a focus group,
Yeah.
I would just stick to parents.
Yep.
And then,
Absolutely.
have homeschoolers, parents in the schools, and not try to like
Right. And like Betty said,
synergize our efforts with school districts.
these are the keepers of the future generation of using the library, parents with young children. You
Mhm.
really want to bring them in from all aspects, from the schools, from story times, from just the community. And that's what I say when we get down to actual targeting, things like the WIC program and SNAP, DTA, things like that, having this information available, survey available, but that's an underserved population that really needs to have a voice.
Well, the school committee is partially parents also.
Yes, I was
Whose
gonna say that too.
goal is to be advocates for the children of the school. And it's only going to help the students of the school to have a better library. It's an asset to them. If we're not competing for funds, it's a definite asset to have a lot more materials available at the library that they can't afford at the high school. So they might be willing to help us out, not necessarily focus group, but they're not exactly the opposing side.
I agree.
Mhm.
Who else is being focused on? I mean, it's the senior center being focused on, and it's the trustees having a focus group, or who else?
I think the way we had things is one focus group would be library people. So library trustees plus friends, and I would like to invite the school librarians to that.
Plus the staff. The current library staff is really important.
Library staff get their own baked in. Mary Brainy interviews them, so
Oh, okay.
like they just get to go straight to her.
But invite them if they want to come to the one that
Yeah.
for trustees and friends. They're invited.
I will pass that along. They probably won't come though unless there's snacks.
Yeah, we always need to serve food. Why?
So, and is the senior center one of them too?
The senior center, I thought, would be where we would host, because we get 2 public forums. And I would like to do one public forum like early in the day at the senior center. Because that would get, I think, a lot of people, and it would get us talking to the seniors. And, the public forum format lends itself a lot better to a conversation with a lot of people, and those will have a little bit more weight. And I think that's kind of a way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because we would get a high participation in a public forum, and it would mostly be seniors. Because Patrice knows how to get people out.
Oh, yeah.
And what's the other one, after a selectmen's meeting or something?
The other public
No.
hearing, well, I wanted to do them as a focus group.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I guess I need to know, or I'm putting in my notes,
Okay, so
the focus groups, and then you started talking about public forums, so.
yeah, sorry, because there's 2 public forums. Those are bigger than focus groups. I wanted to do one at the senior center and one just a general public forum that everyone's invited to, probably at town hall, because I don't think the library would be big enough, but
Handicapped accessible, but you have to have it a handicapped accessible place. So municipal center, okay. Go
and
on.
then, so for the focus groups, the library people, the building people, so that would be probably trying to get the BFCC, the CICC, and Adam at the same table. And anyone
What
else,
was the second thing you said? BFCC and then what?
the Capital Improvement Committee.
Oh. Okay. And Adam.
Because those are the people we'll have to be working with. And oh, thank you.
I
Are
have
you
a
getting
que-
snacks or something?
Yes, my wife just brought me some pizza.
Yeah, that's always a good one. I have a question.
Mhm.
What about inviting, I know you're talking about the selectmen as a separate group, right?
Well, I was thinking selectmen plus Matt.
All right. How about local, state, and national senators and representatives?
I would
Go right
invite
to the
them to
top.
that.
Huh?
I would invite them to that one. Either that one or
The morning.
have them at one of the public forums,
Exactly. That's it. Maybe they could have their choice.
because they do come to a lot of things at the senior center. So if we have a public forum at the senior
I'm
center,
talking about not just them. I'm talking about going to
Elizabeth Warren.
Elizabeth Warren and Jim
Elizabeth
McGovern.
Warren and Markey and
Yeah.
yep. I'm
Why not?
serious.
I don't
Hey,
think they're
maybe
in
we'll
charge
find
of
a
the
sugar
grant.
daddy, a sugar mama.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find someone who's like, this town really needs a boost. It will only take a little bit. I'm serious.
Yeah, I would invite them.
And if nothing else, that they come to a focus group and they listen to what people are saying. That's what this democracy is supposed to be about, listening to the people. Maybe we've lost that over the years, but anyhow, that is my strong suggestion.
Okay.
All right.
So those are kind of my big thoughts, was the library people, building people, and then, people in power being, the board of selectmen, town administration, and maybe FinCom and representatives and senators and whatnot.
Okay, sounds good. I like
And so
it.
where will we share the information publicly at the end? I'm trying to also think the people who participate, they might want to know how it gets shared, and they might be more or less willing to, hopefully
The,
more.
the public hearings do not have to be recorded. Um, that said, I think, or not the public hearing is the wrong word, public forum. The public forums don't have to be recorded.
Okay.
Because it's not a public meeting of a group. However, it can be useful to record them because it's just something that can play to give the library airtime on cable and something on YouTube that people can point to. The big thing that Mary Brainey asks is that all the focus groups and the public forums not be aired until they're all done.
Mhm.
Because someone watching one,
Yes, yeah,
it would
right,
affect their answers in the next.
right.
Right. But on top of that, like when Mary will compile some kind of report, right? So at the end, where does that go other than to you?
Oh, it'll be in the building program.
Okay.
Okay. Is Mary going to do, I mean, I thought, or this is what is in my mind, is that Mary is going to do this study, which provides us with options. So it's not just for applying. We don't know whether we want to apply for the grant or not.
Exactly.
Right,
So, but we're using her to give us options, correct?
We're using her to find out all this data and then have a conversation about it. And then she will compile it in the end into, well, like basically, like what we would give to an architect to say, hey, this is what we need.
I think it's a weight-bearing document that will stand the test of time that we can use in the future for, at whatever point we choose, or, something will happen. But it's good to have it, just to have that show that as of this date, in 2023, this is where the town of Douglas stood.
It basically breaks down the library into lots of different pieces, like collection sizes, room sizes, people's and what they want, what we need. And so you've got a lot of well, I mean, if you look at Sutton's report, it's like, okay, we've got this amount of children's material, but we want to have this amount of children's material. And we've got, X amount of space dedicated to computer labs, but we want this amount of space devoted to computer labs in order to meet our demand. It's like breaking it down into chunks so that there's like actionable things that we can try to fix. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Right now you look at the building and it's like, this is one big problem that needs solved, and the building program will hopefully break it down into lots of little problems, some which are solvable easily, and then others which would guide, okay, how do we fix this with a renovation as cheaply as we can?
Right.
Or do we want to? Is it worth it?
I think it will give us a good focus too on priorities. If we choose not to go forward with the grant, it will give us an idea as trustees of the priorities of the community and how can we better address them.
Right.
It will tell us whether the grant is a viable path to where we want to be.
Right.
And it may not be.
We shall see.
Or it may be. I don't know.
Only time will tell. 3 years ago, well, a little over 3 years ago, we would have thought that we were going to go through what we did. So, well, you never know.
The COVID stuff.
So with focus groups, we've got power people, library people, building people. We can have up to 5, but we can only do 3. It is kind of up to how much data we want and who we want to reach.
In some way, you don't want to do
Parents, that's the
overkill.
four, the parents. So that's four
Parents,
focus
right.
groups. And then the
In
fifth
some-
one, I kind of left up in the air because, you know, like local pizza guild or whatever.
Right.
I thought y'all might have
Um,
some brilliant ideas.
I think you also don't want to do overkill.
Mhm.
You don't want to say we're having, like there's 18, focus groups. If it make it sound more important, these are your 3 opportunities.
Mhm.
4, if you come up with another group.
Parents, we've got 4.
All right,
And
yeah.
for a fifth easy group would be kids.
So you're talking at least one, like you're talking about at the senior center, saying one morning group.
Yeah, well, that's not a focus group. That is a public forum.
Okay,
2 big public forums, up to 5 little focus groups. And for the 5 focus groups, we were thinking building people, library people, administrative power people, parents, and for the 5th one, I might just throw out kids.
That sounds good
excellent,
to me.
excellent idea.
So where the super users come in?
We just kind of get them because they're going to be represented in the surveys,
Or will they go to the public forum?
and they will be heavily recruited to come to the public forum. Whichever one is not the senior public forum, I want to invite all of our super users to the other one.
Right, that sounds like a good plan. I like it.
Yeah, I like that.
That way we kind of get 2 focus groups for free.
Being the public forums.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay, got it. All right. All right, are we ready to move on? Do we have any? I think we looked at a good point in that.
So when are we going to get involved in all of this? Or when is Mary going to start doing all of it?
We're hoping to like get these scheduled for June. Maybe probably June into July. Because it's a lot of committees asking to have joint meetings.
And you want to do sooner than later if you're going to try to catch anybody in the school, librarians, if that was.
Mostly who I want from the school library is Katie Malo, and I've got her number, so she's not going.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Hopefully she has yours too.
I've got her husband's number too, because he's a good.
Oh, all right, that's even better. Keep it on the up and up, right? I'm just kidding.
Just if a fellow librarian happens to have a mechanic that is in their family, I'll try to use that mechanic. All the family. The librarians
Okay.
got to stick together.
I hear ya. All right. Okay, so if we move on, I don't think we have other old business right now.
Or other
Under grants, we have the capital campaign.
I have nothing to report for grants, capital campaign, or other. I think
Okay.
I know that we've gotten a trickle of building donations in since the last meeting, but I don't know exactly how much without my finance reports.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
that what's on the sign? You've
I'm
updated.
sure I need to update the sign. I haven't updated the sign since I got COVID, so it's stale.
Yeah,
It's
but
still up
when
to
did you
date.
get COVID? 2 days ago? Or last weekend?
I
Or
haven't been in since last week, and since we're closed on Fridays, it's been a full week since I've been to the library now.
wow.
Thursday, the 20th.
Okay.
And a lot can
Yeah.
happen in a week. The rest of
Get
your staff
cracking
will
on
get
that,
sick.
Justin. right?
Do what?
It's on your work order for the week, right? I'll be in to check on it. All right, so, LRP updates, we're good on that?
Nothing.
I got
Okay.
nothing.
All right, under Friends.
Friends are having their annual meeting this Saturday, if anybody wants to zoom in on it. And that's at 10 in the morning. And then on the May 27th, they'll have their book and plant sale. So, and I have a bunch of, right over next to me, a whole bunch of plants that I'm growing for to
Nice.
bring to it. So, and
I'm
then I
starting
also,
seeds.
what?
I'm starting seeds for vegetables, and I've got some basil and some other stuff.
Oh, good. I don't have any basil, so that I'll buy that.
I'm great at killing basil.
Well, mine just dies too soon. And I guess I should just cut it back and
It's so delicate.
It is, it's persnickety,
you know.
But
but
I have to say, when it's like on the phone, because when I got it from the farm, it lasted like 4 times as long as anything else.
Huh. Okay.
Nick grows good stuff.
yeah, he does. Yes, he does. He knows what he's doing.
So far for memberships in the Friends, we've got, we've collected $4,060 as of the 22nd of April.
That's great.
And that's about it for
Right?
Friends.
Okay. The 2024 budget. Oil
Still in
furnace.
limbo until Monday night.
Okay,
This is not right. You know, this really bothers me that we have not been told, and it's not just the library, it's the whole town. And I'm planning on not going to the town meeting just out of being ticked off. Also, it's my husband's birthday, so.
Oh, happy birthday, Evan.
Yeah, right. We don't celebrate him, but I'll celebrate it on Monday.
We
So,
haven't
but
been
that
told
really
what?
bothers me that you haven't, you know, nobody's been given really the final view of budgets.
Is that abnormal?
I haven't gotten I haven't gotten the report from the town. Has everybody else gotten that yet? I haven't asked Evan yet. He gets the mail.
Mm.
Yeah.
No one
So-
has the town meeting flyers yet?
I haven't gotten it, or
I
nobody
haven't.
told me about it.
Is
Him
that?
too.
Hmm?
Well, I'm sure they know what they're doing. I don't know.
So we haven't
That
been
is
told
strange.
about the
Well, so many
budget
weeks in
because of
advance.
the school thing, or is that what you mean, Ellie?
No, we haven't gotten the final budget.
So
Or
compensation.
at the last capital meeting that I went to,
Oh, okay.
nobody knew anything about it. And then I listened to, after Justin told us that about the FinCom open meeting or whatever it was, the hearing that they had, I listened to that whole meeting, and it didn't sound like the budget was finalized at that point, and that was 2 weeks ago or something.
Well,
Uh,
FinCom is literally meeting 30 minutes before town meeting starts, so
Yeah, see,
they don't have an approval to budget yet. Well, I know they do. They approved
They did
the
approve
one
it.
that the BOS submitted, but with the caveat that they expect fresh data 30 minutes before town meeting.
But it's the end of April. I think that's how it usually is, right? We get it in May.
well,
Yeah,
yeah.
but we
town
only have
meeting's
3
Monday.
mailing
The town
days.
meeting is May 1st, so town meeting
Yeah.
is Monday.
You guys, it was mailed today. You'll probably
It
have
was?
it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. That's cutting
All
it close.
right. Under oil furnace and hot water heater.
Sorry. Tomorrow, it's happening tomorrow.
Okay. We're gonna let you go as fast as we can.
Yeah.
Rebecca was having her husband Jed help her move her stuff out of the way today since I couldn't be there. And tomorrow, Socia is supposed to remove the oil tank from the archive and take out the water heater or the furnace, put in a hot water heater, redo all the piping. If I'm hoping I'm able to go tomorrow because I want to make sure that they don't like put it smack dab in the middle of the room because we could like move it to a corner a bit. But yeah, on Monday we should have hot water at the library again.
Yay.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been using the tea kettle and the coffee pot to generate enough hot water to take downstairs to do dishes.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh my God.
Oh, man, downstairs
What do
in
you,
the unsafe stairwell.
I had a
Okay.
question actually on last month's budget was other utilities is water, right?
Yep, water, sewer. Yeah, it's
And I
just
thought
water,
they-
sewer, I think.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
usually charge per how many gallons you use. So why was it almost what it's expended at $330 last month. So what was that, the amount of water that you used, or do you have another bill coming on it, or any more? Do sewer bills come once a year or
Yeah, twice a year.
What?
They come twice a year.
What the sewer does?
The water sewer, it's the same bill.
Oh, okay. And you've gotten to this year, so it stops at $330.24, right?
I think so. I
Okay.
don't think there's another one coming in. I'll check when I get back.
All right,
But that
that's
sounds about like what we spend every year.
okay.
Okay, moving on to the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program. I'm suggesting we table this to the next meeting.
Yes,
Um,
please.
Yeah,
Deb and the children's librarian in Dudley, whose name I can't remember now.
Lila or Leela? Lila?
Anyway, she was on vacation and then Deb was on vacation. So that was 2 weeks of the 3 weeks since our last meeting. So they have not had the chance to touch bases yet.
yeah. Okay, so we will table that. Other business under that's confusing.
It's
Just roll
any
set.
other old business.
Yeah, but okay, but we already did it. All right.
No, see,
Other old business.
there's others with,
There's two
black
other
dots.
others.
well, yeah, but other with an empty circle in front of it is the same thing as director's contract, building projects, grants.
Okay,
It's-
all right.
So that should be, if there is, I don't think there's any other old business, right?
Okay, are we good with that, everyone? Hearing no one yelling out. Under new business, town meeting, Monday, May 1st, 2023, 7 p.m.
Woo.
Nothing on you.
It ought to be fun.
Yeah, I bet. Town election, Tuesday, May 9th. We have a writing candidate.
Yes, you do.
Hey, we hear you.
Good, good, good. My name's Lee Lyons. On the ballot, my real name is Leo, but I prefer Lee. Just so you know, I've been a resident of Douglas for approximately 30 years, but I was only a summer resident for most of that time. For the past 3 years, it's been full-time. And I am currently retired from the post office 2 years ago. I am on the cemetery commission. I won election last year. I work at the Douglas Food Pantry.
Great.
Yeah, and I would love to be on the library trustees.
We'd love to have you be part of the library trustees.
Thank you.
So, Lee, when we all write your name in, we do need your address to put in it too, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm currently having stickers made up too that we could get handed out, but I can give it to you right now if you want.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's 301
Yeah.
Southwest Main Street.
Okay.
You're right around the corner from me.
You on Cedar?
No, I'm on Wallem Lake Road.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Are you going towards Connecticut?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm 2 miles from the Connecticut border.
okay.
Did I deliver books to your house during the pandemic?
No. I'm actually on Bad Luck Lake.
Oh my God, that's where I want to live. I do. I
Well,
do. I want to live there. I want, every time there's a nice sunset from our house, I
Yeah,
want to say, oh, it's a good night for a sunset on Bad Luck Lake. Bad Luck Pond.
well, you're welcome to my cookouts on the water, so.
Oh, that would be great.
Wow.
Sounds like a good.
Let me
place to
know
have
if,
a
let me
meeting.
know if there's any real estate available around there.
I will.
All right.
Thank
Sweet.
you, Lee, for
Just
stepping
if-
up and volunteering, because I thought I had some leads of people who would be willing to jump in, and none of them panned out. So
Now, who is it that was the incumbent? Was it Nick?
yep.
Yes,
And he chose not to run.
Mhm.
yeah.
He's busy with the farm, is what he told us. I'm not, he's not on, right? Is he on? I'm not sure if he's
No,
there.
he's-
No.
No,
Okay.
he's not.
Is he the owner of the orchards?
Yeah,
No, his parents are,
Yeah,
but
right.
they
He's the
live on
farm.
Bad Luck.
but he works
live
there. I think he lives there and he works the farm.
Yeah,
But his parents live in Bad Luck, so you must know them from there.
yes,
Oh.
I do. Aaron is the father.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. You were asking about the budget. I just got the book in the mail today.
Okay, and I think Dawn just said that too, so
Yeah, do you want
yeah.
me to read what it says?
no.
Okay.
I'm airing my irritation at the town for
Oh,
waiting.
okay.
Just general airing of irritation. Hey, I'm not sure for the voting, if we need to have, if Lee just needs to get more votes than anyone else who should happen to be written in that we don't know about. Or, does he need any kind of percentage? And I was just wondering if it was of interest, if anything could be, if Lee could be at the library, or could he leave something there, or how that kind of works, because the library seems like the
I
obvious.
don't think you can do that.
Yeah, no, you
No, not,
You have
no.
to be off of public property.
Okay.
Right.
Like you can't, like, for example, you can't stand out in the middle of the street. Like, well, I guess people do
No,
have
but I
signs
mean,
on
it's,
election day.
you also, I mean, the public library is not on,
It's
you should
public.
not get involved with
Right,
the
you can't,
politics.
okay, here's an example. You can stand outside the post office, but you can't go inside the building.
Right.
Like when I first came on, I had to get enough signatures. So I took a couple Saturday mornings and went to the post office. As I was fine as long as I stayed outside, but I could not.
So
go
is that
inside.
so considering this is a library, is it the same thing? Like, could he be on the bench out front? Is that too close?
No.
Not on the
When-
property.
No,
Back in the day when the post office was where, not where it is now, but in that little indent place, that was, oh, good, huh?
No, that's 2021s. They have not put up 2022s yet, much less 2023s.
But the
Oh,
post
God.
office technically can't have anybody on their walks or anything like that. People can be on the sidewalk, and
right,
that's as far as you can't go
exactly.
by the
Exactly.
door or anything like that.
Where it's a public walkway, you can stand, but you can't be in a building that's, I don't know.
Well, no, they were
Building
very
that has-
strict
gets
back in
public
the
funds.
70s about where you could stand and
Oh,
stuff.
I know, me
In
too.
80s, yeah.
At,
So,
at the town offices, on election day, I know that you can't, have to be at
No.
least 300 feet away from the door.
I
right,
believe
that's
it's-
true.
Yeah, I think it's 500.
Yeah, I think it is too.
It's 500.
But so you can't, we cannot hand out the stickers at the library.
Okay,
But if, Lee, if you want to say something on Facebook or something like that, that you have them, if,
Yeah, he has already put a post on
Can
Facebook.
he hand them out as people go in to vote?
Yeah, that's what.
Not if he's on the property.
Not
not
on the
on- no,
property.
he can't
On the
be on the
sidewalk.
town meeting.
Right.
He can
Well,
stand by the
once-
Historic Society where everybody else stands with their posters.
Yeah.
No, on
he
the,
could.
the day of the meeting in, at the high school. There's plenty of land there, like if it's just not right in front of the door and more the parking area, that seems reasonable.
No, they can't. You can't be on the property at all with that, with electioneering. That's what they said. You've got to be on the street going up there. I think it's Pleasant. You can park on the street.
We're talking town meeting though, not the day of the
Oh.
voting.
We're talking about, oh, I
Still,
see,
it's-
yeah.
it's still-
You can-
Still
could
it's
do
public property. It's property that's supported through tax dollars.
Yeah.
what
I
I,
don't
what
think
I'll,
you can do it.
We
what
do,
I'll, what I'll do is I'll, ask at the town hall,
Right.
what the rules and regulations are, and I'll try to, stick by them and, get the stickers out.
Yeah, but go back to answering Dawn's question about whoever gets the most votes wins. You don't have to get.
Okay, someone could have one and someone could have two and the one who gets two wins.
So if we all
Right,
vote for
exactly.
him and no one else votes and no one else runs, then he would win.
Okay.
Right.
as far as we know, no one else is running. No one else
I
has
have heard
announced
nothing.
their intention to run.
In fact,
Whereas Mr. Lyons here has officially announced his candidacy. So if an email blast were to go out from the Friends of the Library, just
I
informing
won't do
people-
that.
Okay, never
I
mind.
won't, because I
501c3, if you're
the
a
friends cannot
501c,
be political either.
a 501c3 says you can't use your money or your influence for
But
political
you
gain.
wouldn't be endorsing anything. You would just be.
No, you
informing
can't. I was a treasurer for a 501c3 before, and you
It
can't.
says it
You
in
can
our
do it.
bylaws even,
people. Okay.
He could
Right.
probably put a sign up where all the other sign-ups are on the intersection. If you wanted to, I don't know, if you wanted to get signs, they're all there. He could put a sign there.
Which
Yeah.
intersection?
Well, by North Street where all the detours are, the Hal
Oh, yeah,
Davis
yeah,
and
yeah. Just call, what's his name? Dan Heaney. He owns that land. Just to,
really?
yeah.
Well, and
he-
across from Family Convenience, they've got signs there too, and they've got little signs all over the place. I don't know if they asked permission or not, but
Well, I always ask permission of Dan Heaney if I'm putting it like the Friends auction. I always check with him first. I just don't automatically put a sign up. And I
But
put the
okay,
auction signs on people's property that I've checked with ahead of time and will not, and Ernie Marks will take any sign that's on town property down. And you can pick them
All
up
right,
at the highway
can
barn.
I just bring us back to a point? Lee is a write-in candidate, so you
Yeah.
have to write in his name and address.
Right.
Correct.
You're not gonna put that on a sign and expect people to write that down as they're driving by at 35 miles an hour.
Now,
good.
I'd like to, or Danielle, just bring up one other thing. It would be nice, and I know that Justin's put it on his calendar forever, for henceforth. that that we check every year in January. Justin's going to check in January of, is everybody, I mean, there's only one person every year. So next year's.
Exactly.
And
Right.
then, so last year was Dana and then this year was Nick, but it's out of respect for our board. We're, we've got a great offer from Lee to come on. So that's great, but we don't want to be in, not every year, Lee is going
I
to come
understand
on.
that,
Yeah,
Ellie,
we
and
never
you're
want to
right.
be in this situation again. So I did
You're right.
create a permanent Google reminder every January to find out who's up for reelection and make sure
Right.
they want to do it.
And to be honest, I know there's someone up every year, and it's gotten kind of crazy with people filling in and then leaving and then trying to figure it out. So I wasn't sure who we had, but I agree. It's my omission, and I'll make sure that I'm aware of that. I can do that quite easily and make sure the board is aware of it.
Okay.
All right. So other new business. Hearing none.
Sorry.
Our next meeting will be May 23rd at 5 p.m., God willing. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Well,
And
I
what
have
time
one
is it? What
question.
time is
Oh,
it?
I'm sorry,
What time is it? Now.
5
When
p.m.
we adjourn, what time are we adjourning at?
It
6 o'clock.
is- It's 5:59.
5:59, okay.